try to bring uniformity in income among citizens. But on the contrary, the disparity in income has increased in our country. Government has failed to do so. And on the other hand, Article 25 is the fundamental of the Constitution, which gives right to every citizen to profess and practice their religion. And which, however, the directive principle of the state policy, they are not part of the Constitution. They are not the fundamental of the Constitution. And
it is part of the Constitution. It is enshrined, sir.
Policy our current government has followed. The directive principle of state policy also direct the government to create a scientific temperament, to promote scientific temperament in the country. But on the contrary, when our Prime Minister says that we can make tea from nali ki gas se chai bana lenge. When they see that plastic surgery happened in this country 2000 years ago, when they say that internet was there 2000 years ago, so I don't know where we are moving towards.
Well,
they talk about women's rights, they talk about equal rights to women. Yes, we truly believe in that. As a member of Samajwadi Party, I am proud to say that in Samajwadi Party, 70% in the organization of Samajwadi Party, 70% of the seats are reserved for minorities, OBCs, women and Dalits.
Okay.
But on the contrary, the RSS does not have even a single woman in their main organization. They have created a section of women among RSS just to show that we have women. So this is what they believe in women. They does not.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I have to intervene because there are certain points that you have made which are very, very devoid of facts and they are not true, sir. So, but I'll let Anand respond and then I'll make some of the points. Yes, Anand.
Now, I have great respect not only for you, Anand, but for Abbas bhai as well. But I would like to ask a very simple question. Doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani karna is the best solution. So, isme I will request both of you to answer in the yes and no. Anand, everyone on this panel believes in equal rights for men and women. So first I ask you, Anand, and then I ask Abbas ji. Anand, should the daughters get equal share of inheritance like sons?
Of course. I would say the daughters should get more.
Please ask Abbas ji.
No, Anand, I truly believe in that. But I am not representative of a particular community. You should understand this.
No.
I'm not
you are an Indian citizen, na? Abbas Haider, you can answer as an Indian citizen, as a Samajwadi Party spokesperson. You are for it, right?
No,
you're for equal rights. Yes and no answer hai. Don't qualify. Yes and no answer hai. Don't. I'll come. Yeah, yes and no. You are personally for it. You answer in personal capacity.
If the government should have reached
you answer in personal capacity, Abbas.
It would have been done long back.
Abbas, you answer in personal capacity. You answer in personal capacity. You're for it, right?
Anand, there is no point.
No, I'm not here to answer anything on personal capacity.
Okay, as a spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, do you believe that both boys and girls should have equal rights in inheritance? Okay, let me ask you as spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, do you and your party believe that boys and girls should have equal share in inheritance?
Certainly, if we cannot hamper the fundamental of the Constitution, which Article 25 gives us. People have right to practice and profess their religion. And if something is there,
no, it's not. No. One. There again, fallacy. Sorry. Now, please. No, Abbas, please yield. Abbas, please yield. Please yield. There, either a 3-letter word or a 2-letter word in English, sir. उसके लिए आपने जलेबी जैसे भी लंबी आपने गोल-गोल घुमा के आंसर दिया है. But I will let it be. My point is, sir, please hear me out. Personal laws are not core part or inherent part of a religion or a theology or a faith. Personal laws are civil contracts and these are common social practices. They are different from religion. You have the right to practice and profess your religion, but you do not have the right to be unequal if you are following a secular constitution. Either you are secular or you are not, sir. If you claim to be secular, then you have to ensure that the law is equal for all. That personal law specifically is equal for all. Secondly, one way. Secondly, sir, do you believe the earth is flat or round?
But we must understand when.
Do you believe the earth is flat or round? Do you believe the earth is flat or round? Sir, second question, sir. Third question. Can an act that does not actually comply to Sharia be called a Shariat act? Third question.
No, I'm saying that whenever I'm not here to reply on Sharia or anything.
Sir,
I'm saying that
I am asking you legislation. I am asking you legislation. It claims to be a Sharia act, but it is not a Sharia act. It does not represent fully Sharia. So is it legal or illegal? So on all 3-4 questions, you're not giving me straight answers. Anand Ranganathan.
To enact UCC.
Yes, no,
Sir,
honest,
what is your responsibility to create a mahal, to create an atmosphere that everybody agrees? What is your responsibility as a party? Your party was in government, has been in government multiple times in Uttar Pradesh. How many times have you talked about bringing in a uniform civil code in Uttar Pradesh?
No,
in the past.
See, no, I'm saying
how many leaders in our country have said, let us follow Goa, let us have a uniform common civil code? Other than Pushkar Dhami, which other chief minister has done it? He's from the BJP. Which other chief minister has done it who's not from the BJP? Across the last 7.5 decades.
Even there is a clause in the Goa Civil Code that if a male if a male child is not born through a wife, and wife gets 30-year-old, he can remarry. So,
sir, but there is a Goa civil code, na? That the Portuguese left and the Goans adopted, and like Anand Ranganathan said, 38% of Goa population is minority. Nobody is coming out and saying mere adhikar chin gaye. Everybody's got equal rights. That's the important aspect. Sir, Anand Ranganathan.
Anand, can I?
Anand, yes, Anand Ranganathan.
I'll be very honest.
Abbas,
please, I didn't interrupt you. Yeah, no, to be very honest with you, Anand, let me just say this straight up. I do not blame Abbas Bhai at all. Because the issue is not of Abbas Bhai or even of, and I've read the All India Muslim Personal Law Board detailed document that they published 2 days ago saying that do not touch our laws and you can still implement UCC if you want. That is totally, renders the applicability of UCC ineffective, but I don't blame them. Because please understand, they cannot go against the word of Allah. So when Allah says in 411, that the daughter will get an unequal inheritance compared to the brother, Abbas or any of the 2 billion Muslims around the world cannot go against his word. So it is unfair on my part, I confess, to
I'll tell you, I disagree with you there. Anand Ranganathan. I'll tell you why. Because for a long time, there was no share in inheritance that was actually given at all in Jammu and Kashmir. In Jammu and Kashmir, Shariat, like Professor Gurumurthy said, was implemented in 1985 and even then not in the true principles. So the wife, and it was a court ruling that allowed ladies who are actually related to the former chief minister their right to inheritance for their children also. So in different cases, different notes are sung.
Standards.
So, and I'll tell you, they continued to be Muslims in our country for 1000 years, sir. From the 10th century onwards till 1937, Muslims were all across India. In fact, in Thrissur, where I am born, Islam came in the 6th century AD. The first time Islam set its foot on ground in India, the evidence is 6th century AD.
Absolutely.
So
I
since
don't know
then,
if Abbas Bhai has actually read the constitutional debates where Dr. Ambedkar mentions, and I can quote him. He says that in Kerala, he's talking of pre-independence.
Yeah.
Muslims were following the Hindu code bills.
Yeah.
They were following the Hindu laws.
The Marmukatayam law. The Marmukatayam law was the one that was followed, where the matriarchy or the maternal inherent as the leader is the law that was followed even by the Moplas. It was followed even by the Moplas. What Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, the examples that he has cited. See, he says apart from the Northwest Frontier Province up till 1937 in the rest of India, the United Provinces, the Central Provinces and Bombay, the Muslims to a large extent were governed by the Hindu law in the matter of succession. In North Malabar, the Marmukatayam law applied to all, not only to Hindus but also to Muslims. He also then said that it is a matriarchal law. It is no use making a categorical statement that the Muslim law has been immutable law which they have been following in ancient times. He said it is quite certain, and he also and then he has more examples have been cited. I'm just citing a few here. The other point, Abbas Haider, I'm asking you is, sir, what is your responsibility as a party in opposition today, the second largest party in Uttar Pradesh, a party that's been in government in the past? Where is your responsibility of creating an atmosphere that we have a common law?
See, Anandji, the problem is the government was sitting idle for past 9 years. They have been doing nothing. And all of a sudden, in February this year, they have formed 22nd Law Commission. And they want responses from citizens in 30 days. So these laws cannot be enacted all of a sudden. What
Why?
has the current government done?
75 years it's been discussed,
to
Abbas
get the
Haider, and you're saying it
confidence of
cannot
the
be implemented
stakeholders.
all of a sudden.
They have done nothing.
Anand, you know
Sir,
what my worry is?
2014 से 9 साल आपने गिनाए. Please tell me, sir. Please tell me. You can even refer. You can. I'll give you 2 minutes to refer. 2014 से 2019 के बीच में सपा के कितने MPs थे, sir? सपा के कितने MPs थे लोकसभा में? सपा के कितने MPs थे राज्यसभा में? 2014 से 2019 तक सपा के कितने MPs थे? How many MPs of the Samajwadi Party in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha? How many times did they raise this question or this issue? And did they want the common civil code to be debated, and did they pressure the government of the day to bring in a common civil code in our country?
UCC, this is about ECC.
Sir, if that is the case, then you should be the first person to say. Sir, if it is about ECC, then you should be the first person to come out and say we want a common civil code, and we dare the BJP to bring it.
We are debating on it.
If you believe, sir, if you believe that a common civil code will get the BJP votes, the opposition should say bring it tomorrow and take all the votes.
4 years to form law commission.
Anand Ranganathan, if it is about elections and if it is about votes, Anand Ranganathan, the opposition should unite and say we dare the BJP to bring it. We are backing UCC.
But yes, but you know what my real worry is, Anand, let's be very honest about it. Let's talk about the ground reality. When BJP brought in an act or a law, CAA, that did not affect the Indian Muslims at all, and it was at pains to say this and prove it. But what was the result? There was large-scale violence, stone pelting, there were illegal blockades, there were protests, there were threats for killing, mayhem ensued for a year. And here there is going to be, if a law that comes, it affects millions of Muslims. So I want to ask plainly Abbas Bhai. Abbas Bhai, this time, will there be an upheaval, arson, looting, stone pelting or protest like there was in CA? Please let us know.
In fact, now there are fakes doing the round. In fact, there are actually fake letters doing the round in the letterhead of the Law Commission on WhatsApp, and the Law Commission has actually sent out an alert saying Law Commission of India cautions people against fraudulent WhatsApp text messages and calls being circulated regarding Uniform Civil Code. The Commission clarifies that it has no involvement or connections with these texts. So this entire game of misinformation has started yet again. And so who's playing a responsible role there? Responsibility sirf opposition ki hai, government ki hai, opposition ki nahi hai. Who's allowing these, who's putting these messages out, and who's circulating these misnomers and misinformation? That's a big question. Anand Ranganathan and Abbas Haider, thank you very, very much for joining us on this debate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's hope that there is a consensus and that act that divided India is removed, ladies and gentlemen. That's the actual bedrock that needs to go. That's why our founding fathers wanted a common civil code. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, we've been telling you how Khalistan is spreading its nexus, or these K elements, the vandals, these secessionists are spreading their nexus and also defaming India abroad on foreign soil. But more importantly, the enemy is backing these elements. Now we decode the Khalistan plot that's been unraveled by intelligence agencies. Top intelligence sources are telling CNN News 18 via our group editor security Manoj Gupta that Khalistani groups are arranging money in the name of referendum. Gurdwaras and langar funds are being misused and diverted for Khalistani activities. It's not just happening in India, but it's actively, brazenly happening on foreign soil in Australia, UK, Canada, and America, and other nations like Germany and some other places too. Most youth born after 1984 are being used for this job. So for them, it's a distorted version of history. Their handlers are reportedly based in UK and in Pakistan. Terrorists are using gangsters to carry out attacks on soft targets. Intel sources are telling CNN News 18 that gangsters are mostly working on behalf of terror groups in Dubai, Pakistan, and the United Kingdom. The source also reveals that these gangsters are constantly working on behalf of Khalistani groups in the UK. Sources say prominent leaders, singers, and businessmen are their targets, and they want to terrorize the local system in the country. The NIA, during its investigations, has found that the KLF, or the Khalistan Liberation Force, has close links with Arshdeep Dalla, or Arsh Dalla, who is in touch with gangsters in India and is allegedly involved in the planning of target killing. So they are identifying soft targets here via this man. So the gangster terror group and of course the enemy nexus. Agencies also revealing that Lawrence Bishnoi, Goldie Brar have links with banned organizations like the BKI or the Babbar Khalsa International. Lawrence Bishnoi and Goldie Brar are accused of many murders, including the murder of Pardeep Kumar, follower of the Dera Sacha Sauda. NI has also revealed that Bishnoi allegedly facilitated and Rinda carried out the RPG attack in Mohali. Investigations reveal that these gangsters have fled to Pakistan, Canada, Malaysia and Australia and are planning crimes, orchestrating crimes from there, using their foot soldiers and pawns on ground. Hit jobs are being directed from there. Agency sources reveal that these gangsters are arranging money via hawala and also via extortion. NIA is constantly raiding gangsters, their associates in Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and the NCR. We've also accessed the action plan of agencies against these K-gangster terror nexus and how it plans to break this entire ecosystem. First is go after the financiers, the hawala operators, the gun and weapon suppliers, logistic support providers, harborers or the OGWs, legal aids, social media managers. This is a comprehensive attack to try and crack down this ecosystem where there is the enemy, there are the secessionists and of course the gangsters. This entire nexus, more importantly, they are using the religious institution. They are using Sikhi, the Gurudwaras to try and also raise funds, divert funds that are given for charity towards these acts. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, it's a straight, honest, candid conversation with the cast and crew of Bahattar Hoorain. The film releases this evening. This conversation earlier in the week. Stay with us.
सोशल मीडिया पर इसकी तस्वीरें डाली हैं, लोग हैरान होकर के देख रहे हैं। लोगों ने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था कि रेलवे स्टेशनों का भी इस तरह कायाकल्प हो सकता है। और उसी कार्यक्रम में मैं गोरखपुर से लखनऊ के लिए वंदे भारत ट्रेन को हरी झंडी दिखाऊंगा और उसी समय जोधपुर से अहमदाबाद के बीच चलने वाली वंदे भारत एक्सप्रेस को भी रवाना किया जाएगा। वंदे भारत ट्रेन ने देश के मध्यम वर्ग को सुविधाओं और सहूलियतों के लिए एक नई उड़ान दी है। एक समय था जब नेता लोग चिट्ठियां लिखा करते थे कि हमारे क्षेत्र में इस ट्रेन का एक जरा होल्ड बना ले, उस ट्रेन का होल्ड बना ले। आज देश के कोने कोने से नेता मुझे चिट्ठियां लिखकर कहते हैं कि हमारे क्षेत्र से भी वंदे भारत चलाइए। ये वंदे भारत का एक क्रेज है। इन सारे आयोजनों के लिए मैं गोरखपुर के लोगों को, देश के लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, गीता प्रेस विश्व का ऐसा इकलौता प्रिंटिंग प्रेस है जो सिर्फ एक संस्था नहीं है बल्कि एक जीवंत आस्था है। गीता प्रेस का कार्यालय करोड़ों करोड़ लोगों के लिए किसी भी मंदिर से जरा भी कम नहीं है। इसके नाम में भी गीता है और इसके काम में भी गीता है। और जहां गीता है वहां साक्षात कृष्ण है और जहां कृष्ण है वहां करुणा भी है, कर्म भी है, वहां ज्ञान का बोध भी है और विज्ञान का शोध भी है। क्योंकि गीता का वाक्य है वासुदेवः सर्वम, वासुदेवः सर्वम। सब कुछ वासुदेवमय है, सब कुछ वासुदेव से ही है, सब कुछ वासुदेव में ही है। भाइयों और बहनों, 1923 में गीता प्रेस के रूप में यहां जो आध्यात्मिक ज्योति प्रज्वलित हुई, आज उसका प्रकाश पूरी मानवता का मार्गदर्शन कर रहा है। हमारा सौभाग्य है कि हम सभी इस मानवीय मिशन की शताब्दी के साक्षी बन रहे हैं। इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर ही हमारी सरकार ने गीता प्रेस को गांधी शांति पुरस्कार भी दिया है। गांधी जी का गीता प्रेस से भावनात्मक जुड़ाव था। एक समय में गांधी जी कल्याण पत्रिका के माध्यम से गीता प्रेस के लिए लिखा करते थे और मुझे बताया गया कि गांधी जी ने ही सुझाव दिया था कि कल्याण पत्रिका में विज्ञापन न छापे जाए। कल्याण पत्रिका आज भी गांधी जी के उस सुझाव का 100% अनुसरण कर रही है। मुझे खुशी है कि आज ये पुरस्कार गीता प्रेस को मिला है। ये देश की ओर से गीता प्रेस का सम्मान है, इसके योगदान का सम्मान है और इसकी 100 वर्षों की विरासत का सम्मान है। इन 100 वर्षों में गीता प्रेस द्वारा करोड़ों करोड़ों किताबें प्रकाशित हो चुकी है। आंकड़ा कभी कोई 70 बताता है, कोई 80 बताता है, कोई 90 करोड़ बताता है। ये संख्या किसी को भी हैरान कर सकती है और ये पुस्तकें लागत से भी कम मूल्य पर
Namaste, Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in conversation with the makers, cast, crew of yet another movie that is making the waves. According to IMDb, it's perhaps one of the most looked forward to current genre of movies, which is slated to release on the 7th of July. 72 Hoorain, the title itself attracts a certain amount of controversy and attention. The makers have also had a fair share of it already before the movie hits the theatres. But let's try and understand from them the thought process, the approach, and the motive behind making the film that's already won a national award. So let's not forget that. So let's start with introducing all of them. Captain Gulab Chand Pawar is one of the producers. Namaste, sir. Thank you very much. Sanjay Puran Singh, director of the movie. I'll come to some of the questions already in my mind. He's a person who needs no introduction. It's a fanboy moment for him. I'm a fan of his body of work. Pawan Malhotra ji, thank you so much. And Ashok Pandit, good friend. A lot of times panelists on our shows, but today he's the co-producer of the movie, so he's with us. Captain sir, ये पंगा लेने का आइडिया कहाँ से आया? मैं पहले आपसे वही पूछा भी करता हूँ।
पंगा अगर आप कहें लाइटर नोट पे तो वो आदत का एक हिस्सा है। हाँ। कि पंगा लेते ही रहें, इसीलिए पायलट बने, इसीलिए नौकरी छोड़ के एविएशन का बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया और इसीलिए फिल्मों का प्रोडक्शन का काम शुरू किया। लेकिन मैं बहुत लकी रहा कि शुरुआती दौर में ही जब ये चर्चा चली कि फिल्म बनानी है, कुछ करनी है, तो संजय से मुलाकात हुई और ये कि निहायत अलग तरह की फिल्म लेकर के बनाने की तैयारी में थे। हम लोग मिल गए और हमने शुरुआत कर दी बिना ये चिंता किए कि क्या अंजाम होगा।
तो ये स्टोरी आपके पास कौन लेके आया?
संजय।
हाँ जी। और आपके पास ये स्टोरी कौन लेके आया?
देखिए,
Who got it?
जो घटनाएं हो रही थी आसपास हो रही थी, आप हर चीज़ को नोटिस करते हैं एज अ फिल्म मेकर, एज अ क्रिएटिव पर्सन, आपके नज़र रहती है। तो हमेशा से मैं इस चीज़ पर फिल्म बनाना चाहता था, टेररिज्म के ऊपर। लेकिन जब तक आप हमेशा ये ढूंढते हैं कि आप क्या कहना चाहते हैं, किस नज़रिए से उसको कहना चाहते हैं, तो वो सही बात और क्यों कहनी है, ये पता होना बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो लगातार बहुत सारे आइडियाज़ आपके जहन में रहते हैं, बिकॉज आप मल्टीपल चीज़ों पर काम करना चाहते हैं। तो ये एक यूनिक पर्सपेक्टिव जिस दिन मुझे मिला बस उस दिन से फिर उसके बाद में ये मेरे लिए था कि इस पर ये फिल्म ज़रूर बनानी चाहिए। मैं ये जानता था कि काफ़ी मुश्किलें जो हैं वो आएंगी मुझे इस फिल्म के दौरान, चैलेंजेस की लोग क्योंकि स्पेशली जिस दौर में ये कहानी सोची थी वो तकरीबन 2010-2011 की बात थी जब ये पहली बार ये थॉट आया था। उसी दौरान मैंने कैप्टन साहब को ये बात बताई थी, नरेट किया था और उनको ये आइडिया बहुत अच्छा लगा। अगले दिन उन्होंने बोला कि चलिए इसके ऊपर हम काम शुरू करते हैं। पर कैप्टन साहब को अप्रोच करने से पहले मैं ये जानता था कि अगर ये फिल्म मुझे करनी है तो क्या ये वाकई वो कहानी है जिसके लिए मैं बहुत सारा वक्त गुजारने के लिए तैयार हूँ। मैं चाहता हूँ कि इतना समय, क्योंकि कमिट करना बहुत आसान होता है लेकिन उसके बाद लगातार उस थॉट के साथ में रहना रात दिन, क्योंकि एक लॉन्ग प्रोसेस है। तब तक अपने आप को मोटिवेटेड रखना, हर रोज़ सुबह उठ के आपको लगता है कि ये वो फिल्म है जो आप कहना चाहते हैं, तो हर बार अगर आपका जवाब हाँ में है तो ये वो कहानी थी जो मुझे बहुत मोटिवेट करती रही। और ये पर्सपेक्टिव स्पेशली टेररिज्म के जिस पहलू को मैं कहना चाहता हूँ वो मेरे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था।
2011 से आप इस स्टोरी के बारे, यू थिंकिंग अबाउट इट सिंस 2011?
जी।
एंड यू बीन वर्किंग ऑन इट सिंस देन?
बिल्कुल। मतलब फिल्म तैयार हुई 2019 में, क्योंकि जब ये तैयार थी उसके जाने के बाद में हम इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल के अंदर गए, मगर अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्योंकि कोविड ने हिट किया और कोविड की वजह से ये रहा कि सब कुछ लॉकडाउन में चला गया। 2 साल तो यूं ही निकल गए। इंटरनेशनल फेस्टिवल वगैरह के सर्किट में भी हम ज़्यादा नहीं जा पाए, तो बहुत नुकसान हुआ। लेकिन फिर उसके बाद में बीच में ये भी एक ऑप्शन था कि आप OTT पर चले जाएँ, वो एक क्योंकि बहुत लोग देख रहे थे। पर कहीं पर ये फिल्म तैयार की गई थी इस नज़रिए से कि ये बड़ी स्क्रीन पर आए, क्योंकि हर फिल्म मेकर की ख्वाहिश होती है कि बड़ी स्क्रीन पर उसको देखा जाए।
सलीम लंगड़े पे मत रो, भाग मिल्खा भाग, तो 72 हुरैन गुरुदेव। हाउ डिड यू से यस टू दिस?
मैंने तो, इन्होंने जब मुझे स्टोरी सुनी खत्म हुई, इन्होंने मेरी तरफ देखा, मैंने कहा मैं करूंगा, पर आप कब से शूटिंग कर रहे हो? इस तारीख तक मेरे पास डेट्स नहीं है। इफ यू आर रेडी टू वेट, ही सेड वी विल वेट। सो वी आई वाज ऑन।
यू डिडंट थिंक कि भाई मरवाओगे क्या? यू डिडंट?
नहीं, पर मुझे अभी भी लगता है कि भाई काय की ऑब्जेक्शन है। इनफैक्ट जिस तरह से इस आदमी ने सिनेमा बनाया है, अरे सिनेमा लवर्स टॉक अबाउट दिस फिल्म, द वे ही इज शॉट इट, द वे ही इज अनफोल्डिंग द स्टोरी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंगली डन। नोबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट सिनेमा। ऑब्जेक्शन भाई पहले फिल्म तो देख लो, फिल्म देखी नहीं आप ऑब्जेक्ट करने लगे।
उनको तो इतना प्यार मिला है, पीपल आर गिविंग हिम सो मच ऑफ लव ऑन सोशल मीडिया।
जरूरत से ज्यादा हो गया
भाई ब्लैक फ्राइडे भी लोगों ने रुकवाई थी ना, ब्लैक फ्राइडे भी रुकवाई थी लोगों ने।
No, they're getting so much love. No, Sanjay, you must not have thought that such people exist who would have gone and figured out your family lineage, threatened not just you but your mother, and with so many, with sexual assault and all.
सर
so much love.
मेरे इनबॉक्स भरे हुए हैं, हर रोज नए तरह से ये चीज़ें आ रही हैं। मतलब देखिए, मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि मुझे अंदाज़ा नहीं था कि मैं एक दुखती रग पर हाथ रख रहा हूँ, ये बात तो हम जानते थे। लेकिन मुझे लगा था कि समझदार लोग हैं हर तरफ हमारे समाज के अंदर जो कहीं पर ये समझते हैं कि आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं। अब टेररिज्म की बात कर रहे हैं, इसके अंदर दूसरे एंगल कहाँ से आ गए जिसकी वजह से ये हो रहा है। तो मुझे लगता है कि फिल्म देखने के बाद में और वो इंटेंट समझ में, हालांकि अगर आप देखेंगे तो हमारे ट्रेलर में, पोस्टर में, कहीं पर भी इस पोस्टर के ऊपर जो हमारे पीछे चल रहा है, इसमें मुंबई की स्काई लाइन है जहां से धुआं निकल रहा है ब्लास्ट के बाद। उस पर किसी की नज़र नहीं गई, लेकिन वो बुर्का क्लट जो नज़र आ रही है सिर्फ उनको देखा जा रहा है, उसके नीचे कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा है।
हाँ, पर आपने भी तो, यू ऑल्सो, आई शुड ऑल्सो से दैट यू पुट द बुर्का एंड द लेडीज अहेड एंड द पिक्चर ऑफ मुंबई इन द फोरग्राउंड। उल्टा कर दिया होता तो फिर सबकी नजर उस पे जाती।
देखिए, ये एक कॉन्सेप्ट था कि किस तरह से वो जो उस ब्लास्ट के बाद में निकलता हुआ जो धुआं है उसके अंदर जन्नत देखी जा रही है, तसब्बुर किया जा रहा है उसका, और वो ख्वाहिश जो है वो वहां से गुजर के वहां पहुंचने की है।
You know, Anand, you said a very interesting thing. Why don't we explain to people? जैसे संजय ने आपको explain किया कि what is the backdrop of thought process behind the poster.
My approach to looking at the poster itself changes the moment I understand.
So the point is,
what are you trying to convey?
Anand, the point is, I'm being very honest in telling you, the point is not explanation, because the people who are objecting to it or raising a voice against them, against this, they are professional opposers, and they don't need any explanation, because if they needed explanation, they would have waited for this. So they are you know, professional abusers, professional criticizers. ये कैसे हो गया? They take the entire film towards a religion. They created a kind of a atmosphere where we ourselves were confused कि यार ये film तो ये है नहीं, ये हमको एक फिल्म का अलग ही पर्सपेक्टिव सुना रहे हैं. When we are continuously saying, Sanjay has been on the top of his voice, Pawan, all of us be continuously saying that this film is based on terrorism. We are exposing all those forces, all those powers, so-called powers, those structures who are supporting terrorism. We are exposing terrorism and all those people responsible for the business of terrorism. Let me tell you honestly, the way Sanjay has directed this film, made this film, it is on a different level altogether. The way he has played with the characters, technically the film is par excellent. I'm talking as a director, it's gone on a different level altogether. And he has created characters. There's a lot of honesty in the film. So all those people who are calling us propagandists, Islamophobia and all that, they are the people who had actually thought that entire the agenda which they run, I'm talking about my film industry, the makers in my film industry, who have been continuously abusing Hoorain, Kashmir Files, Kerala Story. In festivals they are talking about it. Critics in the media are not reviewing the films like ours. They say this is not film only. तो ये जो bias है और ये जो गुस्सा है हमारे प्रति और ये जो दुश्मनी है हमारे प्रति, जिस किस्म का माहौल इन्होंने हम लोग के लिए क्रिएट किया है, हम तो इतना ही बोलते हैं कि आप हमें कुछ भी बोलिए, आप हमारी फिल्मों के बारे में कुछ भी बोलिए कि ये एजेंडा है, ये इसका भक्त है, दिस बीन फाइनेंस्ड बाय पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज एंड ऑल दैट, हमको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि लाखों की तादाद में लोग थिएटर में जाकर इस फिल्म को देखकर तालियां बजा रहे हैं.
Pawan ji, do you believe that there are certain groups in society who are open to criticism, who will admit something is wrong and then acknowledge it, and there are other groups who don't want to talk about it, they just want to brush it under the carpet because they believe it will broad brush the entire community in the same way. आपको लगता है ये reality है, and perhaps that's where it all stems.
बार-बार बोल रहा हूँ, अभी एक ही बंदा काफी है. I appreciate that film. I'm telling people to watch it. Article 15.
Yeah, Article 15.
I stand by that film. I'm telling people to watch it. And बहुत सारे ग्रुप्स हैं वो जो आप कह रहे हैं ना, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उनको समझा दिया गया है कि अगर आप इस तरफ खड़े हो जाएंगे या इसको सपोर्ट कर देंगे तो आप इंटेलेक्चुअल नहीं रहेंगे. जो ठप्पा लगा हुआ है नहीं है,
वो अलग बात.
काफका, ज़ोंपॉल सौत्रे बताने से नहीं, अगर आपको ये दिखता नहीं है तो आप में बेसिक नॉलेज भी नहीं है भाई. या फिर जो लोग इसके आगे जो बोल रहे हैं ना, ये एजेंडा है, आपका एजेंडा है. और मैं बार बार बोलता हूं, मैं एज एन ऑडियंस कश्मीर फाइल्स देखने गया और मुझे लगा कि इसमें इतना क्या शोर मचा रही है, तो कुछ दिखाया ही नहीं जो इतने सालों में हुआ. और अगर किसी को कश्मीर फाइल कोई भी बोलता है कि इट्स अ लाई, जो बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला, तो भाई देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग विद दोस पीपल.
What pains filmmakers like Sanjay or me or actors like Pawan or for example Vipul or Vivek or anybody for that matter who's making a different kind of cinema which they want to make, that directors, well-known critics, well-known filmmakers, well-known technicians from our industry, well-known producers whom we have never abused for their film, they are coming out in the open, and I don't know why, the kind of language they are using for the films made by their colleagues. That is the problem.
It is a matter of concern, I agree. But Gulab Singh ji, let me ask you this. There will always be people who will disagree with you.
Yes, always.
Some people may just be quiet.
Yes.
They will not talk about it. Some people will be very vocal and they'll come out and outright do everything to humiliate you.
Yes.
And what is your solution to this? Should you get bogged down? Should you get affected by it? Or should you just march on?
No, I think we should not get affected. And if somebody needs a kind of explanation, if there is some confusion, at any given point we feel that somebody is confused and out of the confusion, he's raising the alarm, we must always go ahead and try and explain them. But even if we are aware of that it is only an agenda to criticize and to stand against the ideology and the thought, then let it be. एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ, कल जो हम JNU गए, JNU में फिल्म दिखाने गए, तो जो मेरा अनुभव था, मैं बहुत अभिभूत हूँ उस चीज़ से और मैं जीवन भर शायद भूल नहीं पाऊंगा. हमने देखिए, हम सब लोग नेशनलिस्ट हैं और नेशनलिस्ट होना नेशनलिस्ट होना गुनाह नहीं है। ये एक अलग बात है कि एक तबका नेशनलिस्ट होने को भी गुनाह बोलता है।
हाँ, क्योंकि वो
आप जिस देश
नेशनलिज्म
में
और
रह रहे हैं,
पेट्रियोटिज्म में डिफरेंस दिखाने की
जिस देश
कोशिश
में रह रहे हैं, जो आपकी माँ है, जहां आपको सांस ले रहे हैं, आप देखो ना अफगानिस्तान में क्या हो रहा था, फ्रांस में क्या हो रहा था। अगर आपका देश ठीक नहीं है, आप देश सुरक्षित नहीं है, क्या करेंगे आप? पैसे का, समाज का, परिवार का सब समाप्त हो जाएगा। तो देश सुरक्षित होना चाहिए, देश के लिए इज्जत होनी चाहिए, देश के लिए कुर्बानी देने का जज्बा होना चाहिए। मैंने जेएनयू के बारे में जो सुना था वो ये था कि ये वो जगह है जहाँ पे ये नारे लगाए गए कि देश के टुकड़े होंगे, भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे, जहाँ ये नारे चले वहाँ पर उस जेएनयू।
Greetings, this is Rastak Samzaka Jacob. Rahul Gandhi's wait to be reinstated as a member of parliament continues. The Gujarat High Court today upheld the Sessions Court order and declined to stay his conviction for the defamation of Gujarat BJP MLA Purnesh Modi. The court had some scathing recordings in its order saying that there are as many as 10 other criminal cases pending against Rahul Gandhi, and such a punishment is needed for the purity of politics. The Congress party says this is the ultimate evidence of vendetta politics practiced by the BJP. The question is, who is playing victim and who is playing victor?